At the beginning of our educational science course this semester, we began with vermicomposting. While vermicomposting, we were asked to pose questions about the worms or anything we were curious about. We also partaked in creating a garden box, which we took care of throughout the semester. Experiencing these two forms of learning was important to know that we are capable of doing such things with our classrooms in the future. They also introduced us to inquiry-based pedagogies, because we were asking questions throughout, but not given any answers. We were asked to find these answers elsewhere, to reflect upon them, and find different ways of finding our answers. As a class, we also attended the Treaty 4 gathering. This was meaningful to me because it helped me understand how science and Indigenous ways of knowing need to be taught in our classrooms. It is important not to just acknowledge that we live on Treaty 4 land, but to also bring in their teachings and understandings of the world. While creating my own suncatcher inside of a teepee at the gathering, I was taught about how suncatchers are used in Indigenous spirituality as they connect with their loved ones who have passed on. Each bead has a certain meaning, and they end it off with a seashell at the bottom to make sure that they are only inviting positive spirits to connect with. In the course, we were also invited to play the game Never Alone. This was meaningful to me because it was something we could do on our own, at our own time, and that we could pose our own questions and research our own understandings of the story being told inside the game. It was also neat to see how we can introduce different ways of knowing with technology in our classrooms. This all connects to our inquiry-based pedagogies and how it is important to not just give the answers to our students, but to find different ways of knowing and learning and understanding so that we can challenge ourselves in how we are teaching science. By asking, investigating, creating, reflecting, and ultimately discussing the things we learned, we are getting a much more meaningful experience than just having the answer given to us or by filling in a worksheet. In this course, we were able to go outside. I even hugged a tree, and it was meaningful for me to know that we are going outside and experiencing nature, and that it is a great opportunity for us as teachers to take our students outside. I also appreciated how we explored how the future isn't binary and how science isn't binary. This is important to me because I am an advocate and an ally for the LGBTQ community, and I think it is important that it is supported throughout all of our subjects. In the course, all of our connections were deeply rooted in our own understandings. For me, it is important that I get out of my Western ways of knowing and bring in different ways of learning, such as eco-philosophy, native philosophy, hands-on learning, Indigenous science, and making sure that my students have exploration and experiential learning throughout the classroom. Engaging in the workshops was important because it helped us incorporate science from the curriculum and explore our different ways of knowing. I think it's important to make sure that as teachers we are allowing for open learning, guided reading, and that we are not limiting our students because of how we are choosing to teach. As I become a teacher, I am nervous to teach science, but I've had successful lessons in my first part of pre-internship, and I look forward to taking my learnings from our educational science into our second semester in order to challenge my own teachings and to make sure that I am incorporating many ways of knowing and different ways of learning for my students. I appreciate my time in educational science this semester and hope that my forming of my understandings into a puzzle directly reflects how my learnings get put together piece by piece, and that this puzzle may be complete, but it can be expanded beyond my learnings, and it will never be complete because there are many different things I can learn and know and show my students to make sure that we are getting quality learning in our classrooms.